Our journey begins in the late 70s, when Zimbabwe was on the cusp of independence. The Lancaster House Agreement of 1979 ended British rule, and Robert Mugabe, leading the Zimbabwe African National Union, ascended to power. The initial years saw promising development, but the seeds of downfall were sown early. By the mid-80s, Mugabe had consolidated power and started exhibiting autocratic tendencies. The Gukurahundi Massacres, a series of atrocities against the Ndebele ethnic group, was one of the first signs of a regime losing its moral compass. Human rights organizations estimate that thousands lost their lives in this dark chapter of Zimbabwe's history. The late 90s and early 2000s were marked by a series of disastrous land reform policies. Commercial farms, mainly owned by the white minority, were seized and redistributed to black farmers. However, without adequate support and training, agricultural productivity plummeted, leading to food shortages and hyperinflation. The 2000s also saw a surge in political violence and repression. The Movement for Democratic Change, a major opposition party, was frequently targeted, with their supporters subjected to intimidation and violence. Freedom of speech was curtailed, and dissent was ruthlessly suppressed. The economic situation worsened in 2008, with inflation reaching astronomical levels. At one point, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe had to issue a $100 trillion note, a stark symbol of an economy in freefall. In November 2017, the military staged a coup, ending Mugabe's 37-year rule. Emmerson Mnangagwa, a close ally of Mugabe, took over the reins. However, the change in leadership did not bring about the anticipated reforms. Instead, it perpetuated the cycle of economic mismanagement and political repression. To recap, Zimbabwe's downfall can be traced back to several key events: the consolidation of power by Mugabe and the subsequent autocratic rule, the ill-conceived land reform policies, the suppression of political dissent, and the economic mismanagement, all contributed to the country's decline. Despite a change in leadership, these issues persist, keeping Zimbabwe in a state of perpetual crisis. In the end, the story of Zimbabwe serves as a cautionary tale. It illustrates the dangers of unchecked power, the importance of sound economic policies, and the dire consequences of political repression. As we continue to watch the events unfold in Zimbabwe, one can only hope for a future where these lessons are remembered and acted upon.